Welcome to the Tinteán podcast. My name is Dermot, joined by Jack, as always.
Hello.
We are joined by our very own Johnny Cash and June Carter, JP Mack, and Karen Martin.
Hello. Nice to be here. Thanks for having us.
We are just in after an amazing show. I always start with, how are you feeling?
Exhausted.
Not surprising.
Get us some company here.
Have a glass of wine tomorrow.
I'm A-okay. Or G-okay.
I think we noticed right from the start, right from the word go, the audience were with you. How did you find the audience reaction tonight?
They were fantastic. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better than that, sure you couldn't.
No, like
They were great.
I was talking to Mike out there, and I go sometimes before you even reach for your guitar on the stage, all you need is that first woo, and you just know right. Only we can mess this up. Because sometimes you have to go out and the sound and everything can be good, but sometimes you walk on stage, the crowd can be a bit cold, and you have to kind of build it up and build. But anytime we've come down here, as soon as we walked on stage, there's a whooping and a hollering coming from it, so you just know that you're straight on there, brilliant night, great night.
They're here for the right reasons. They know what they're coming for.
Yeah, they didn't want to sit inside the night.
Yeah, that was. Oh man, I'm still reeling from the show. It was unbelievable. There was so much energy and excitement, and some guy started a dance party as well. He went up and he was a little bit reluctant, and you kind of encouraged him a bit. He sat down, then he was totally embarrassed. But then he got back up again, and finally people started to join in. So that was cool.
Yeah, I think a couple people felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
He pondered it.
Yeah. He's good fun. He's come out to actually loads of ours. He
Oh really?
Around, this would be I would say honestly 7th, 8th night show. Honestly,
wow.
He really does.
He travels.
He travels all over the place.
There's a lot of the audience travel. Jimmy Dean was saying now that he didn't recognise a lot of the people here apparently.
Yeah, there's been
we do get people.
There was ones we're talking about with the Long Court, and then there was ones that came to see us at the Rose of Chile Festival last year, and then there was a couple more. I'm just people. It's you honestly you don't know where it comes from, and then it could be, sometimes we've seen people come to the show that we thought was maybe a smaller night or whatever, and then go, we loved it, So you honestly, even if it's 250, if it's 2,500, you still
have to do the same show.
It has to be the same show because you don't know who's in the crowd,
And we can't help ourselves anyway. As you can see, we really can't.
They just asked me, and I go, "Do you enjoy it?" And I go, "Well, what did you think?"
I know.
You can't fake that,
It's such good fun. All those songs, you can play around with them songs, and the Johnny and June thing, and it's good for crack, definitely, isn't it?
Good fun.
And how did you start? What was the inspiration to do Johnny Cash and June Carter?
I started the band 2013, but before that, then I was doing kind of doing bits and pieces. I'm a graphic designer by trade, but the Johnny Cash thing was just people heard me do Hurt, and then somebody said we should learn another Johnny Cash song, so I learned another one, and then I used to do a 2-piece with another guy, but it was just typical bar work, you'd be singing Johnny Cash, but the people kept coming up and asking about the Johnny Cash thing, and then a promoter got me involved, and I went out with another kind of band with backing tracks, and I hated it. But I knew that I liked doing the Johnny Cash thing. I didn't want to be a tribute artist. I was a bit of a music snob when I was younger, but you soon find out when you're out on the stage and you're going, there's an artistry in itself where you don't need to be you don't need to have that snobbery about because there's so much stuff involved in it, because it's not just about trying to sound it's when you play Hurt and you see the reactions and it's usually probably younger audience members, so you can see what it means, it resonates. But I remember we got an email from a woman. We played in the Stroll Arts Centre in Oma, and this woman brought her father to the show along with her 6 or 7 brothers and sisters, and he was in the late stages of dementia, and she said he was more or less catatonic, he was quiet, but apparently whenever they brought him to the show, when I started singing Walk the Line, he started singing in the middle. and they all like shut eyes, looked over, and they hadn't heard him. But in my head, because music is fucking good, is that it awakens something. Like I just picture him back in, say, in the 50s or 60s, courting the wife, you know, child. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that song was on the radio, and that was their wee thing, and then dum 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 dum. You know, that never goes away. It kind of sits there, and that's why I think that's why people sell tickets week in week out for music shows, is because it means that much.
Yeah, I think music has that power to connect you to a time in your life, and even like the music, like Johnny Cash's music that lasts so long, it hits people at different stages of their lives. Still, there's still people discovering him. So. Yeah, that doesn't stop, and that's what happened. Rick Rubin, when he did the American recordings with Johnny Cash, like that brought an absolute whole. I'll tell you a very quick story. I'll tell you how new the fan base was. I was telling you I was doing a 2-piece with my friend Gavin, but I loved the song. There was a song that Sting wrote, but Johnny Cash covered it with Rick Rubin in one of these albums called "I Hung My Head." Early one morning with time to kill.
You've heard it?
Have you heard it? It's a great listen. Go listen to it.
So good.
But I thought I would give it a go on a night out, like, but it is slow and it's not everybody's. And there was this guy, I'd say 6 foot. By the way, in that podcast, that wasn't me farting, it was me moving.
We'll edit that out.
It was this guy who's there, bald head, long Matrix style leather coat, eyeballing me from the side, and I was feeling really intimidated, and I started sweating. I got 3/4 through the song, like 3/4 way through the song, and I started to panic a wee bit, and he had an old mate walk beside him, skinhead, long trench coat. This guy thought he had a newsie underneath or something, and then I finished the song, and the bigger guy, he came walking toward me in the bar, and I'm out going. I was trying to make out a fucking exit strategy. Like, oh, how the hell can I drop this? Drop the guitar, get out the side, and go. Oh, I'm not joking. I was actually. I was kind of concerned. And next thing you knew, I had a music stand with my Johnny Cash book with my lyrics on it. I was only learning, and he dropped a $5 on top, but he didn't break. He smiled. He just had this somber kind of serious face, and he put a $5 and goes, "Hey man, just go get yourself a drink." He goes, "That was absolutely fantastic."
Wow.
And I gone, but it was that thing then, because usually I would expect that maybe, you know, people have a vintage, certain vintage that would be into Johnny Cash, but then when that happened, yeah, it was I could see then, and whenever we started doing more shows, you could see then, like I remember talking the time we did the Crumlin Old Jail, there was a young girl and she was in bits because the song hurt. And you don't know what, everybody's getting different feels, and because, well, at the end of the day, if you've got a career spanning 50, 60 years, you're going to be drawing in from different demographics, and so you don't know who's listening to what or what songs hitting where, like, you know, so and that's the Johnny Cash stuff. But the June Carter thing is, then you probably notice, like in the second half, the thing lifts because Karen's stage presence, the songs, the whole, like, it gets it's more for, what would you say, maybe the first half's maybe a bit more Johnny Cash purist.
I think Johnny Cash purist, and I think whenever I come in the second half, I think I feel like maybe sometimes that I will be a bit of a harder sell because people know Johnny and June. It's just like the second.
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah.
See, I get.
So I feel like the second half I have to, like, not ramp it up, because that's actually my personality on stage and off stage. They'll all tell you in the band, like, that's just the way I get on. But I think that June Carter, like, it was Johnny Cash that listened to her whenever he was just a little boy, and, you know, back in Arkansas and in the tiny house listening. He listened to her on the radio when there was just radio and there didn't have no TV and all. And I think she is she's an icon in herself as well. But I think then it comes together, you know, whenever we both come in to do the duets. I think it's just a magic that happens on stage, and I think they had that magic.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, our audience that come to see us feel that whenever we do that as well, because we really do put a lot of time and effort into it and rehearse and try and get the mannerisms and the way they sing and sort of the way they look on stage and different wee things, you know. So
we actually watched Walk the Line there for, was it?
We've never watched it ever together before, and we watched it, we were like, no, we're going to have to watch this, you know, and take notes, you know, and we watched it
Yeah, because we'll take notes because next year is the 20th anniversary of the film. Yeah. I know it's 20 years old.
That doesn't make sense.
And we're still waiting for Walk the Line 2 because it just ended when he got clean.
Supposedly.
And them two kind of came together. It just ended, and it's like there was so much more that happened after that.
The more interesting story I think is
after
because there's kind of film I felt kind of was the same as what do you call the one with is it Something Hurt with Jeff Bridges, like an Asian country star, like, and then not Colin Firth, Colin Irish actor. Colin Farrell. He plays the younger guy in it. Do you ever see this? No. There's a strong resonance of Johnny Cash's career. Like when he's kind of was big back in the 70s and 80s, but then he's sitting playing bars. Johnny Cash never got to there, but like his career was on the steep decline, like you know. Mm-hmm. And then he tries to come back from it again. But I think that's a far. Listen, this Walk Line was brilliant, but I think there's a better film to be made from. Because he never really got off drugs. Neither did June. No. Nobody knows that. Mm-hmm. And there's so much more to it. And then there's the fight with the ostrich and the belt buckle that saved his life. There's so many quirky stories and stuff that would just make an
definitely more to be told. Like
wouldn't call it Walk a Line 2. I don't know what call it. Would you just call it Man in Black or something?
I don't know. I think we should do a musical, like and tell the whole food story.
I know we're trying to work this out now. We're a podcast thing.
Hang on now. Jack has a camera. We have a Johnny Cash.
Let's get some paper. Let's write it down. Let's get this going.
Johnny doing the musical.
We just need a script.
I'm not the director who's gonna put the money out and trust us. No, it's good fun. We actually just were doing a wee bit of filming there too, weren't we?
We were.
Can't say too much.
We can't say too much.
Oh,
for a Netflix series that's coming out next year. Lisa McGee from Derry Girls.
Oh wow.
She's the writer.
She's the writer. Actually, we can say it's How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. It's an 8-part series. Can't say all actors.
Can't say.
Well, there's some have been signed, but some we've seen on set. Can't say. But one of my heroes is in it.
Oh, it's the only time I've ever seen JP literally starstruck and lost for words.
Wow.
I was talking to him, I called him over, and then I turned around and she goes, "Your face."
Who is it?
Can't say. Because he hasn't been released as a cast member yet, so they must do it in stages.
Yeah.
You know when they release. So.
I don't know if I said a show.
You can't.
No, right.
We've signed a contract. We won't get paid.
Yeah,
so please don't say.
It's not good that actually stop it.
But like the thing about that is true. Like literally. The girl who is the music supervisor for she does all the music for all different TV shows and different things, and she just happened to come along our page on YouTube.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, and they needed like a Johnny and June, and they needed a tribute band to do it, and just give us a call and was like, would you like to just do a wee Netflix series? And we were like, okay.
I remember that morning I got a phone call. I was like, we're doing this like Netflix. Would you want to be interested?
Here's me now.
And then they're like, I got.
Are you free this date?
Whatever. Cancel everything.
It's gotta feel like a prank call at the start.
Yeah. Well, that's what probably prank call for. The same as House of the Rising Sun. Whenever they rang up about that, like woman from California asking, "Can we use your song on a phone?" You're like, what?
That is true. Like that's not. That's
true. Like you're going like and then. Because the royalties are not because it's a song that's over 75 years. There's no thing. So it was just a luck that I recorded that song, but they wanted a deep, like broody, moody kind of version of it. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, and then I go, and we'll pay you as if they try to sell it. And I go, I don't give it for free, but yeah, I'll take money. I'll get paid. And it's oh my god. Okay. Fair enough. So
we'll take what we can get. Yeah, absolutely. So there's loads of stuff happening at the minute, isn't there? Like, and we're going to Germany next year as well. We're going to Switzerland last January, and it was really good fun.
It went really well, but it was. Per Patrick, that was so different.
Well, I don't listen. How long do we have here? So we went to Switzerland last year, and was it 4 nights we done?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And we were like brilliant. And then the second night, our drummer, Mickey, was like, guys, I don't feel well. here's our side there.
After sound check.
After sound check. Now the whole nearly 6 years I've been in the band. The band's been together 10 years, but I've never seen Mickey take a night off. He's like, nothing here. I said, I don't feel well. Here's me. And he, but there wasn't like he was sheet white. He came in and was like, he said,
he was great.
I can't do it.
He was great.
And we were like, that's our first tour. What's our look? What are we going to do?
We had 700 tickets sold.
700 tickets sold, and we were just like, what do we actually do?
I was nervous in it because
we were just nervous in general.
How to speak to a crowd, and then we're like, shit, we're a drummer down.
Yeah. So he was like, he said, I'll go on, and he says, but I'll see how we get on.
But I needed a plan B.
Yeah. So Patrick, who's the lead guitar player, who's just a talented.
Just a son of a bitch.
He's a talented, yeah, he really is. He's brilliant.
Never played drums before.
Never played drum live. He can play drums, but he's never done a show ever.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, you know, like, don't worry, and I'll do it. But Patrick's daddy usually comes out with us, and he's usually in steel guitar. So he was there. Yeah, he's sick at the minute, so he wasn't on the show tonight, but he's usually out with us. So Patrick was like, look, I'll go and do drums. Mickey, just keep an eye. So Mickey got up and done, I think it was one song. Was like that?
No, it was two. I'll tell you what it was.
2 songs?
Yeah, because I remember last what I heard before, because I was singing first, you're on the second half. So I went to like Folsom, whatever, and looked around, and Mickey was still hanging in there. But I think it was Boy Named Sue.
Third one then.
All I remember was looking around and seeing this long haired guy just tap. So I was like, alright. And because I said, I go, look, see, whenever it happens, Mickey, because it was one of those bugs with both ends and all that. It wasn't pretty, like, and he got up and I said, don't make a scene, don't start looking around, just step off.
Patrick, on,
stick down your guitar, walk up onto the thing, and he just went and did it. And I was like, it wasn't as polished a show as what I was in, but
he done fantastic.
Unreal, like for literally finding out about 40,
like what age is Patrick? Patrick's 20.
About 22, 24.
23, 24. Like he's only a young pup, like.
And
he done so well.
Talk about baptism by fire, like, you know, it's.
Oh, he did.
700 people in Switzerland, like, and just.
Then the next night, it was grand, wasn't it? The next
night we got what was
fine.
Sorry, Basel was the first night, and that went to plan.
Yeah.
Zurich. The next night.
Then Mickey was back on form.
The proverbial, yep.
Started, that was fine. All great. The rest of the gigs went grand. Then, on the very last day, went to the airport, and Patrick was like, I honestly don't feel well.
The symptoms were there.
What? He was like, I honestly don't feel well.
What was in that drum kit?
Honestly, here's me, it's the sticks. Whatever's on the sticks.
It's a norovirus.
And the whole way, honestly, through the airport, he was throwing sick. Honestly, like, we were like, please let him get on his plane.
There was a bit where the elevators come up. So we got the first elevator up, and God love him, his dad was with him. And I almost remember the elevators opening up. And they opened up, and he was lying up. And I was like, and just everybody, because it was so loud. And
the worst place, like the worst place to ever be sick is like on an airplane. No, I mean, if you're not feeling well, like it's the worst. It's not your own house, you can't just go lying, but you know, it's terrible.
He very nearly didn't get on the flight.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Like, we were like,
the woman was going to let him on.
But he did get on.
But it was a great success.
But that was just a wee bye story.
But they enjoyed it, so we got back. We're going back now to Switzerland, and they're adding Germany to the tour as well. Like, so we're open. Yeah. Then we did our first English tour in March, and then there's other things in the pipeline now as well. Like, so and with those filming things, it's just it's not what you expect whenever you first start. We're gonna do a John and June show, and you think, what kind of shelf life is there, what kind of thing, and it's not. I think if we just set out just to sing the songs and just do a deadpan and going 1 song, 2 songs, I think what people buy into is, see, tribute bands take on different things when they go on stage. Some go on, like, and from the moment they walk on stage to the moment they walk off, they are that person, or they try to personify that person, where the thing is, we kind of go on with, we throw JP and Karen into the mix, because I think Irish audiences are a bit kind of, they think, oh, Jesus, your mom, and go, no, if you try to stay in between, where you do the Johnny Cash thing for that 3 minutes, but then as soon as that stops, then bring in the humour, because the punters like talking about it.
Like everybody knows we're not Johnny and June.
Everybody knows we're not Johnny and June.
Probably
And me to try and
stage.
sell that, it's just not going to work. Like so, but that's okay if it works for somebody else, and I'm not saying it. But I know the show I feel comfortable performing, and we feel. So it's the joking and it's the wee bits in between. So it's where Johnny Cash meets JP, where June Carter meets Karen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I definitely picked up on that in the show, and I actually thought that was a nice touch because, I was thinking that as well. And we were talking to Aidan Dooley yesterday, completely different show. He was doing his Tom Crean show, it's the one man show, and he is Tom Crean in it. But like he was saying himself, he isn't Tom Crean, and he couldn't be even necessarily a realistic portrayal because he's a very quiet man. People that know a lot about him, he's telling his story, but he can't fully be him. And I was thinking about him saying that while I was watching you on stage, coming in and out and accepting. Well, we're not. If Johnny Cash and June Carter were still alive, you'd love to be seeing them live right now. That's not the show you're at. But we have our own show that is taken from that, but is something else.
I think the big word is that somebody like when you see we put so they help sell the show or whatever like, and the thing is that people going nobody's ever going to replace Johnny Cash. They're going.
We're not trying.
You're missing that big word. Tribute.
Yeah.
It's a tribute to you. I know you do. We do giving. You wear the dark hair. I put my hair up and wear black, and you give nods towards, but you're never trying to replace or you're going. You're just trying to go. Well, you can sit in the house and listen to live at Folsom. You can sit and listen to live at San Quentin, or you can pay 25, 30 quid. Come out, get a couple of drinks, and go. But listen to a live band, and if you're into live music. And I think we do it well. And go, just have a good night out. And don't be picking it apart and going, now if we were going out there, like, we were absolutely awful, we're out of key and the band was missing beats here and there, and go, fair enough, but for what it is, it's good. And and there's so many good tribute bands out there. Yeah, there's some bad ones. I think there's a snobbery in Ireland compared to everywhere else. I think we played in, the time we played in Holland, and when we went to Switzerland, there's things not there. There's a wee bit of and I don't know if it's just venues or if it's the people or something. We get our own fans, like the theatres, people love it, whatever. But there's a general consensus, and I think I was that before I actually started doing this. I probably was as well. Tribute bands, no, it should be original music. It should be this. It should be that. And going, but you don't. When you see the amount of effort that we put in. And there is artistry in it, don't care what anybody says. When I look around and I see it, because I can't play guitar well, I can't play drums well, but I watch the guys around me and Karen's vocals, and so I'm going, the amount of talent that's on that stage, and because it's certain someone else's songs, and then people start to think, it doesn't have carry the same wit or whatever. I'm going, no. I would put my band up against a lot of other bands, and go. I think it's a lot of point scoring. I think that they try to get and there's certain genres of music around Ireland that I remember one guy saying he doesn't like tributes, and I just remember going, right, okay, but their 2 hour set was more or less tribute, but the only difference was we picked one person.
Yes.
Where they had everybody else. They go, you're not really flat out writing your own songs, So. Look, don't want to get better about it, but there's so many good tribute, Queen, Brian and the boys. You've got one now coming there, Mac Fleetwood,
they're fantastic.
Mo not there.
They're fantastic. We were at Trib Fest. Was that last weekend?
Last weekend, and brought them. I bring them up to Donegal there too for their.
They're really, really good.
Really, really good.
They were good. Shania Twain, Maria Rooney, she was really good.
ELO were brilliant. Eagles.
They're fantastic. There's loads of really, really good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gone past the days where the boys in bars where a one green lamp and a laptop. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what people kind of conjure in their heads. Where now there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and as I say, you bring a full band and play live, and that's a big part of it. That really.
Yeah, I don't think you can get away with. But I tried clicking tracks because at the beginning, people would have tried to use click tracks because, well, you don't have to bring as many people with you, and then obviously there's more money in it for yourself. And I would much I'd rather have people on the stage, people to interact with. That you can't compensate for that live sound.
And like everybody in the band are so talented, and like everybody rehearses, like like the three girls there doing the background vocals, Leah, Joanne, and Cleona, like they are just because they're family. It's two sisters and a daughter, nice. So their harmonies are on
got blood
point.
Harmonies,
Yeah. We had Honora on, and Dermot.
The boys that Bob Buffet up around.
Yeah. And Dermot was talking about they're looking to get their vocals as tight as family.
Yeah.
Honestly, but it's true. It's just like in the genes. Like they are just fantastic. And then there's like. So Patrick's on the guitar. Usually his daddy plays with him on steel guitar. He's missed him tonight because he's not well. But there we go. And then with Mickey on drums, and he's so talented. And then Mickey's brother sometimes plays with us.
Mickey's brother and Michael's niece
as well. Sometimes
saxophone and trumpet. Sometimes they come on to do for bigger shows and things as well. Like so, and then
you have Wee Les over in the corner.
My sister used to do the June Carter.
That's right.
Before that, so there you go. So there was blood. The harmonies going on. Yeah. So there. Yeah.
Can't leave out Les. So we Les to be cowboy.
Hey.
He Les. Can't leave out Les.
And Les. And
he plays everything. You just tell. He just plays everything.
Yeah, he's just
a good bunch of guys.
And if we make a passing comment, like I think we need a triangle in there. Oh, I'll do that.
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
It's not a bother. I'll sort that out. Like.
No, it's definitely good fun.
Brilliant. I can't help but notice you're getting towards the end of your drink, so I think we've kept you. But thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Thank you so much. Take care.